Hey guys, this is Sorvesteon coming to you from Naval Action, and patch 9.7, land in sight or something like that. Yeah, I think it was land sighted, there we go, has just been released. Now, I'm really excited for this patch. It's been a long time coming. I've been just waiting so patiently for it, and it's finally here. Why? Because it finally fixes a lot of things that were wrong with the game. The game is still in alpha, so I'm not saying that, the game's bad. It's just that, there was some very annoying things, and this patch finally solves them. So what does this patch add? Well, it adds a lot of stuff. So I'm just going to go through kind of the patch notes, and I'm going to let you know, what's been added. So first of all, as the name implies, land sighted. The main thing that they've added is land in battles. So now you can go have your epic battles, and if it happens to be that you're having your battle near land, well, there's going to be some land in your battle. And that's going to have some big implications for, how you can fight your ship. Before, you could just sail off in any direction you wanted. There was absolutely no restrictions. But now if there's land, well, if the land is downwind, you can't just sail downwind for as long as you want. Land is going to change how you fight your ship. So this is a really interesting addition. I'm really excited to see how this plays out. I'm probably going to make another video just on land in battles. It's definitely, how it affects the frame rate, because they've said that it might impact the frame rate. How it affects tactics, whether it's a welcomed addition or whether it's just plain sucks. Well, so how does having land in battles change the rules of engagement? Apparently it does. And the rules of engagement have changed. Hopefully for the better. So before, you used to have this really big tagging circle. You had to be within the circle to tag something. Now you don't have to be within that circle. I think you just have to reach a minimum distance to start tagging someone. And now there's a little circle around these ships, and what that little circle is in that little circle, they cannot guarantee your positioning. But outside of that little circle, you're going to be placed exactly where you tag the person from. So if you're sailing right beside them at maybe 100 meters in the open world, you're going to start 100 meters from them in the battle instance, side by side. So this is really, cool, because this adds a whole new dynamic, whole new mechanics to how you tag people. How you tag people now has consequences. It can really, really affect, the outcome of a battle before it even starts by giving you favorable or unfavorable positioning. So this is a really big change. So the rules of engagement are, this is really big, really, really, really big. But this is also kind of unfortunate because, if you get surrounded in the open world, then, well, you're going to be surrounded in the battle instance too. So it's going to change a lot of PvP. Another thing that I really like that's happening is they are changing the limit and who can join battles. I'll get to that in a minute. Let's keep going down the patch notes. The next thing is the reinforcements. So reinforcements were taken out of the game because people were kind of abusing it, really. People were using it as a way to farm. Reinforcements were basically proportional to the attacking fleet. The defender could click the reinforcements button and it would spawn a defending fleet that was equivalent to what the attacking fleet was. And people would basically make alts in other nations, get their buddy, sail out to their alt and attack the alt, and then the alt would call in reinforcements, and then they'd have like this gigantic battle, of his friends versus all these AI defenders. Now, the devs didn't really like it, but they kind of allowed it because there was no other way you could get these massive PvE battles. Well, that's changed now. They're actually changing the way that works. So what they've done is the reinforcements still work the same way. You still get a proportional fleet. But now that their position has changed. It used to be that that your reinforcements spawned right on top of you, but now they're spawning really far away. So if someone's coming into your mission and they're ganking you, or trying to, you have the option to call in reinforcements, and if you can survive long enough, then you have the option to turn the tables on these gankers and possibly escape. Before if a Romane came into your mission and you tried to escape, well, good luck. Most of the time the Romane is going to outrun you, and maybe it's going to take up 30 minutes of your time and there's just nothing you can do about it. Well, now that Romane has a time limit to basically get you down and immobilize you before the reinforcements, reach him and start messing him up really badly, giving you a chance to escape. So it adds a new dynamic to the way reinforcements work, and hopefully this is going to be a welcome addition again. It's not going to get abused. I like the idea, of having a kind of like a fair fight, and I think this is fair for both the gankers and the ones being ganked. The gankers have an opportunity to try and get you, but you also have a chance to try and escape, using the reinforcements. As long as you can hold out long enough, you're going to get your opportunity. So it makes things more exciting. I'm really, really excited for that. What else? Port battles aren't being changed, so reinforcements are not affecting port battles. As I know, they're staying under the old system. Apparently, in future patches, the port battles are going to get reworked. How? I'm not sure. So let's go back to talking about ganking. This reinforcement changes. These reinforcements or bringing them back into the game is going to have a big effect on ganking. But they're doing more than just that to address the ganking problem. One of the feature that they brought in recently after they removed the reinforcements was they put a 2-minute timer on any battle. Like any battle, PvP, PvE, mission, it didn't matter. Except for port battles, you had 2 minutes to get into a battle, and then it was closed for everyone. Now they're keeping the battles open. So what's going to happen is if you get into a battle, anyone can come help you. Like, the battle remains open, but the BR difference cannot shift to being more than like 1.5 times either the attacking or the defending force. So it's an attempt to try and keep things more even. If 8 people tag you and try to gank you, it means that your clanmates or your allies, they can try and form up a fleet, which usually takes maybe 5-10 minutes. And if you can hold out for that long, then, they can get to that battle, they can hop in, and they can come and help you, and, they're getting content. They're getting PvP content. The people ganking you are getting PvP content. They may not like that that a defense fleet is formed up to come in and challenge them, but you know what? I think this is a better way of getting PvP content than the system we had before, which basically, kind of excluded people from getting PvP content. I mean, this is a PvP game. This is a PvP server I'm on. We want PvP. We want PvP to be more accessible and to be more frequent. And I think this is going to have, a nice impact on the game. Another thing that's changing is protected areas around capitals and towns. You're not going to be able to attack there at all. as far as I understand the patch notes. So that's gonna prevent people from being sucked into battles that they don't want to be sucked into, which is hopefully gonna be nice. What's another big thing they're adding? The mortar brig. So they are added a historically accurate mortar vessel to the game. And the main idea behind it is to destroy land fortifications and to try and take out stationary ships. You press K to use it. It has a minimum firing distance of 1.5 kilometers, so that's pretty far actually. And the ball takes 30 seconds on average to reach the target. So I'm really interested to see how that works. A person in our clan has already put one in the building queue. I think it says it's a brig. It says it's a mortar brig. So hopefully that's gonna be, it's gonna be more for shallow water. I see this as kind of like the gateway. They're just testing it out for bringing mortar ships into the deep water battles. So that's gonna be cool. Really interested to see how that works out. They've added a duel room. One-on-one PvP. Hallelujah. I mean, you just cannot get that in the open world. Everyone sails around in groups, and very rarely does someone sail around by themselves. The whole reason people sail around in groups is because usually when you attack someone, a group of other players comes to, get you. So you need to have a group. This is nice. I like that, you're going to have a chance to do one-on-one PvP with people in a kind of a controlled environment. It would be nice to be able to get one-on-one PvP in the open world, but I just don't think that's ever really going to happen. Because no one wants to be on the losing side, right? So everybody's going to get their friends. Alright, there are some more big changes that I'm really excited about. Larger NPC fleets have been added to the open world. This is a game changer. So far, up until now, the most you would have been able to get as of patch or hotfix 9.69 is a couple third rates and maybe a couple frigates. Like maybe 2 third rates and 2 or 3 frigates. And, that's fine if you have maybe 3 or 4 people going into that want a fleet farm. But what if you have more? Well, then, you start taking XP hits because you have, more people damaging the ships than is really necessary. It just becomes too easy. And what if you want to have 8, 10 people fleet farming with you, in your clan? Well, now you can go and farm large fleets. There's content for those situations. That's nice. I really like that addition. They've also generated epic events adjusted to your group size. So, the hardcore players, the ones who've got some skill, like them pro players, they're going to have some hard content where hopefully they'll be able to get some epic experience and some epic loot, but something that's really going to test their mettle in the game. So that's exciting too. I'm really excited to get into that as well. They've added fleet orders to the mission list. As far as I am aware, what this allows you to do is for an individual person or a group of people to go participate in a large NPC battle. So if you can't get 20 of your friends together to go have a gigantic, farm these large, NPC fleets, you can still do that through these fleet orders. So that's really cool. So, whether you're alone, whether you're just with a friend or two, or whether you're in a big group, it seems that you're going to be able to access this epic, large-scale battle content in one way or another, and that's nice. I really like this addition. Another big change is now you can take missions of every level. Woohoo! Before, you used to only be able to take missions that were close to your rank. So, if I was a post captain, I could take a master and commander mission, a post captain mission, or a flag captain mission. Now you can take anyone. And that is nice. Let's say they do a server reset. the ship you're in, like the ship you can see here that I'm in a basic cutter, and I'm actually sailing from Port Royal to my clan's home base because I don't want to wait for the teleport. Oh yeah, I was talking about missions of every level. So when it comes to like a server reset, for example, you're going to be stuck in a basic cutter. But your rank is like, my rank is now like flag captain. So like, holy crow, I can only take flag captain missions. Before you could only take flag captain missions, but you're in a basic cutter. Well, you can't do a flag captain mission in a basic cutter. So the only recourse people would have would be to go farm traders. Try and farm some gold through taking out traders, to try and get into a bigger ship, so that they could actually go and do missions or fleet farming appropriate to their rank. Well, now that's no longer an issue. Conversely, like if you're, a post captain, right, and you're with a couple of your buddies and you just want to go out and take a mission, you can grab a Commodore mission. Now that would be too difficult for one post captain on their own. But if you've got 6 other post captains in your group, well, that's perfect. I mean, a Commodore mission I think would give you 2 third rates, and that's perfect for six post captains in frigates, or undercrewing a Constitution, or maybe undercrewing a third rate. So that's fantastic. I really like that. You can now go do missions that fit your situation, not your player rank. Another big change to the PvE content. One second, let me have a sip of coffee. Oh yeah. Combat NPC ships are now transferred to the Admiralty after capture. That's right, you cannot keep your combat ships anymore. Although you can still keep captured traders. That's the one type of ship that you can still keep. But you cannot keep combat ships anymore. And this is like this is a crazy, massive change. Why? Because it has to do with third rate capturing. See, third rates have been, for the longest time, kind of like the mainstay ship of port battles. Because you could get them fairly easily by capturing them through fleet farming or missions. It costs you really nothing to get them except a bit of time. They were easily disposable because they only had 1 durability, so you just put whatever on, and they were relatively powerful, so they could stand up to first and second rates. And if you lose it, or if you lose them, who cares? Right? Like the rate at which you could acquire these third rates, you could acquire like 3 to 4, a day. So easily. So like per person. So like not a big deal if you lose them. And there were nations who wouldn't even craft third rates. They wouldn't even craft first or second rates. They would simply just go out and capture third rates and use them for port battles. So it didn't matter whether you took like their main trading hub. It didn't matter if you like took out their shipyards, or if you like reduced the number of ports that they have to limit their resource gathering abilities and crafting abilities. Like ports were relatively meaningless except for places to dock and buffers to fleet farm. Now this all changes with this because you can no longer keep these captured third rates. They're going to go straight to the Admiralty, and you're just going to get a bunch of gold for them. Nations can no longer, just sport these big, captured, kind of disposable third rate fleets. They now have to commit crafted ships into port battles. And to craft, you need resources, you need labor hours, you need to have crafters that have the level and the blueprints, all that stuff. is now required to defend and, to participate in port battles. So this means, nations now have a really big incentive to have their own economy, to have a viable, ship production line, to be turning out, ships for the ones that they lose. Oh, I'm going to be disconnected. Don't disconnect me. Cool, there's nobody here. Awesome. All right, so back to talking about all the changes. So this is going to have a big impact, on basically nation warfare or the politics in the game. It's going to make your central port, like the port that you're basing yourself out of. Different clans have different ports that they base themselves out of. They build their shipyards there. They build all their buildings there. They do all their trading through it, and they say, we're going to hold this port at all costs. That makes it like, it really hurts if you lose that now. Okay, other changes. Okay, so other changes. What else is important in this? You can now disable reload for an entire side. That's cool. Very cool. What this means is you can go over to one side, press F5, and it will disable the reload on that side. So all your guys are going to run over from that side to the side that you're actually using. So if you are just broadsiding on one side of your ship, you can, focus all your guys over to that side. It's going to make your reload quicker. That's nice. I like that. The leak system has been reworked. Now, if you shoot the right places when the ship or waves are in the right heel or position, you can sink a ship just by generating enough leaks without having to go through its entire armor. Yes, before patch 9.7, you had to whittle down a ship's armor on one side before you would really be able to cause any serious leaks that would actually cause, flooding or cause the ship to take on water. Now that's not the case. This adds, some new player skill. Like if you're able to hit close to the waterline, you can actually cause, a ship to take on water without having to go through its armor, like all its armor. That's a big change. This is going to make planking a lot more desirable on ships than it was before. Like, planking was kind of useless before. People would go for other things, but now planking is going to be like a serious consideration, for built-in upgrades into ships. It's also going to have a lot of implications for PvP. People are might favor trying to shoot at your water line to try and sink you faster or to slow you down because, when you take on water, you slow down, right? Losing your pump is going to be a big problem, not being able to bail all that water out. So, the leak system, that's a big change. And we'll see how it works. I personally think it's a good idea. Group size has been increased to 12 people. That's nice. Really like that. It was such a pain in the ass to only be able to have 6 people in a group sometimes. You get that flag over the top of your head. It's very nice for knowing where your group members are. One of the things that they're doing, one of the changes that they're making is that they are adding all the ships up to heavy frigates to the NPC stores. Before, if you wanted anything more than a basic cutter, you would have to go buy it from other players. That is no longer the case. If you want to go and do that, you're basically going to have to let me change my ship direction a little bit. There we go. You can go to a port and you can just buy a basic ship. No problem. I don't think it has the higher qualities. So, if you want a higher quality ship, you're still going to have to go to a real person to get that crafted or to purchase it from. But, if all you need is something basic, then, yeah, you can just go to the shop or to the ships tab and just buy something. Okay, what else? Yeah, they've added more UI stuff. That's notifications. Notifications are always good. Thank you, Game Labs. Please add more notifications. We need even more of them in the game. Any notifications you add are good. There is a serious lack of UI feedback to, actions and consequences, as it is. So, I know the game's still in alpha, but it would be really nice to get more notifications. So I'm really happy about that. Clan officers can change the clan descriptions and can kick members, so it's making it easier for people to kind of manage stuff. When installing cannons, you can see their effect on the ship's speed. Yes, cannons have weight. That's not something that I think a lot of people realized. The cannons you put on a ship do affect its speed. So if you put cannons on a ship, it could make it slower. I didn't know that. Until now, anyways. Another big change. Blueprints no longer drop for the crafter. Known blueprints no longer drop for the crafter. So once you get a blueprint, you're not going to be able to get that same blueprint again. This has big implications because crafters used to sell blueprints that they already had for extra money. You can't do that anymore. And the crafters that didn't have the blueprints, if they couldn't get it, they would just buy them. So now it's made it harder to get ships. It's made it harder to get blueprints. So that means, crafters are going to be more valuable. Blueprints are going to be more valuable. Being able to having access to build different ships is going to be more rare. So that has a big impact on the game. There's a whole bunch of other stuff. What else? Preparation has been changed a bit for boarding. Unprepared ships now start with 25 preparation by default. Unfortunately, disengaging now costs 45 preparation. So before, the only limit to being able to disengage from something was to wait the 4 rounds, and then you could disengage. Now it's going to take even longer. Because let's say you get boarded and you're unprepared. Well, you get 25 preparation. You have to wait until you get up to 45 preparation, and then you can click disengage, and then you still have to wait the 4 rounds. So, in that space of time, you could get totally wrecked by whoever or whatever is boarding you, especially if it has more crew than you do. I saw a friend, who lagged out and bumped into an NPC Constitution. He was undercrewing a Constitution himself, and because the NPC Constitution had more crew, that it just and Marines, it annihilated him within 4 rounds, and he lost his ship, or at least 1 durability on it. It was unfortunate. What else? There's a whole bunch of stuff with NPC resource consumption and moving stuff around between stuff. That's not that really big of a deal in my opinion, so I'm not really going to cover it. The penetration system has been slightly improved. Extra hammocks now give a more significant bonus. So if you're undercrewing a ship, extra hammocks help you by giving you additional crew. So if you're a post captain, which has 350 crew, and you wanted to undercrew a Constitution, which requires 450, you could previously use extra hammocks to get maybe, I don't know, between 5 to 15 extra guys, to help make up for that gap. Well, now it's going to make it easier to undercrew ships, and I think that's good. There were lots of ships like the frigate, the pirate frigate, the Constitution, that had crew requirements that were well above what you would get for a certain rank. But when you went to the next rank, you would have more crew than the maximum for that ship. So it would actually be more beneficial for you to go undercrew an even higher rate ship. Like in the case of the of a post captain going to a flag captain, the post captain would do well to undercrew a constitution. But when he went to a flag captain, he would have 650 crew. So at that rank, it was more beneficial to either undercrew a Pavel or to fully crew a third rate. There was no point in crewing a constitution because you have 650 crew. A constitution has a maximum of 450. Okay, and let me turn my ship. Yeah, it takes a long time. This is a testament to the to how big this game is. No, I want to turn a little bit more. Yes, there we go. Okay. So that's nice. The grind has been somewhat addressed by lowering the XP thresholds. Yes, this is what I mean. I logged into the game I left the game a post captain before the patch. I came back to the game a flag captain after the patch. And it's gonna cost me 40,000 to get to a Commodore. Let's put this in perspective. Before the patch, it would have taken you 50,000 to go from post captain to flag captain, and 75,000 to go from flag captain to Commodore. I mean, this is a massive change. They have massively reduced the grind. Like, massively. It's good for me because now I can crew a third rate. I think it's just helped a lot of people catch up. It's definitely going to help a lot of people catch up. That's nice. I'm in favor of less grind. I want to get into my first rate. I want a victory. Some other things. They have fixed some stuff. That's always good. Another thing that they've done is they've made the England now a fourth rate. It was a third rate, but it's now classified as a fourth rate, which I think is good because it fits more in line with the Constitution. The Constitution has better speed, better armor, but the England has better DPS. It has better maneuverability, and it just looks nicer. Or actually, I guess that's up for debate. They fixed a whole bunch of other bugs. But, like they said in the patch notes, they've probably added a lot of more bugs as well. So, we'll see. I expect some hot patches to be coming out. So, those are the big changes in patch 9.7. Massive patch. It's affecting, the politics between nations quite a bit. It's affecting combat and quite a bit. It's gonna really affect PvP and PvE content quite a bit. It's gonna have a big impact on crafting. Like I said, you're not gonna be able to just farm your third rates anymore. You're gonna have to craft them. They were never really crafted before. No one even had the blueprints for them. So now it's gonna create a new market for them, which I think is a good thing. So yeah, big patch, really big changes. Like I said, I cannot wait to see how land kind of factors into that, and I'll be making another video on how land actually affects the gameplay now. So that's patch 9.7 in a nutshell, and that's how it's affected the game. I really can't wait to see to play it more. Oh, and they've done one other thing. They've changed how the cutter sits in the water. Yeah, I can't really notice that much of a change anymore. Oh well. Random aside thing. They said, yeah, the cutter positioning on water in open world was somewhat improved. I don't really see that it's been improved that much, to be honest. But, yeah. No. Looks about the same to me. Oh no, I guess they made it a little bit higher. A little bit. Anyways, there was talk of them doing a wipe with this patch. Or there was a rumor, I should say. That rumor was not true. And there are no plans for a wipe that I've heard of in the foreseeable future. So it's going to be a while before they do that. Probably when they rework port battles, maybe. And when they make some significant changes to crafting, maybe. It kind of sucks that everything's going to get wiped in the future and that, you know, all your progress in terms of ships, wealth, and crafting blueprints and stuff is going to get wiped out, but at least we get to keep our rank and we get to keep our crafting level. So anyways, so this has been Sorvesteon. Ooh, Trader Cutter. Rear Admiral Vanilla. See, this is that new circle that I was talking about. So I am not in range yet, but if I get in range... If I get in range, hopefully I'll get the attack option. And as long as I'm not in that little circle, like this position that I have now in the open world, that's what I would have in the battle instance. And no, I do not want to attack a fellow Briton. But that was just to show you, you know, like what it looks like now, and your position, as you saw, like my position relative to Rear Admiral Vanilla would have been what I would have started with in the battle instance. Oh, there's one other thing I forgot to mention. Because your position is now your starting position in the battle instance is now relative to your to the position you tag in the open world, your guns start unloaded. So you're going to have to wait for your guns to load when you hop into a battle. And I think that's true even for missions now. Ooh. So I take it this must be one of the new epic events. Yeah. One of the new epic events that they've kind of dotted around the world. So anyways, it's going to be very cool. It looks like it's really done a lot to improve the game. I like that the devs have been listening to the community and, you know, making a lot of changes that people have been asking for, fixing a lot of the things. We really hated that 2-minute timer on entering battles. So yeah, so that is patch 9.7. It's making the game a lot nicer to play, I hope. So this has been Sorvesteon from Naval Action. If you liked the video, remember to click like and subscribe to my channel for more videos about Naval Action. I'm going to be making more in the future because I'm not quitting this game anytime soon. So until next time, take care and happy sailing.